What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. This is TWA Motorsports, and today we're going to talk about a couple things. First of all, what the red truck is all about. Kind of an interesting story that is it's worth hearing. And we did get rid of something. And no, it is not my wife's Tesla. She is actually gone in it. You can see that it's not in the garage here. But let's go take a look at what we sold. And I think it's pretty obvious because I said something about it a couple videos back. And sorry guys, it is kind of windy today. But obviously you can see that the S10's still here, the beater S10, the parts trucks is still back there. We'll go into the garage here. All these dandelions look terrible in my yard. Let's go in here and see what we got. So the OBS is still here. The 54, the Sonoma GT, the MBS, the Trailblazer, the Trans Am, the Corvette, the 52, and the 55. So pretty obvious what we sold. And like I said, I told you guys a few videos back, and I actually made a post in the community section about it. But we did sell the Suburban. So it's kind of sad, but it was time to move on. That thing had a little over 200,000 miles on it. And still ran great, but I wanted something different, and that's just how I am. That was never gonna be something that stuck around for a long time. But that leads me to another one that I'm thinking about selling, and that is the Trailblazer. You know, I posted in that community section, which should I get rid of, the Trailblazer or the Suburban? It was about 50-50. And so let me tell you why I'm thinking about getting rid of this. So it all ties in as far as, not with the red truck, but as far as why I'm wanting to get rid of it. I guess it does kind of tie in with the red truck. But anyway, so my son plays basketball, and we play just pretty much year round. So my oldest son, and so we go to tournaments and stuff like that. So normally what we would do is, because the Suburban has so much room, we've taken it on vacation last year. We've had it for about a year now. We would take it because it has enough room. Well, my wife decided, and actually I had just sold the Suburban. It sold like 2-3 days after I listed it. And she decided we should take her Tesla. Well, we were going to Iowa, Council Bluff, on the other side of Omaha. I can't even think of the name of the town. But anyway, we stayed in Omaha, Nebraska, and the tournament was right across in Iowa. So it was about a 5.5 hour drive for us, and she decided we should take the Tesla because we wouldn't have to pay for gas. Well, it is cheaper to drive the Tesla, I will tell you guys that. A full charge on a supercharger is roughly 10-12 bucks, depending on where you're at. So honestly, it is cheaper. But the problem is we get up there, or we got to Kansas City, and we needed to charge. So we had to spend 55 minutes on a supercharger to charge to full capacity. Now, while it charges really quick out of the gate and will get you to about half battery in about 15 minutes, to charge all the way up, it was 55 minutes. So 55 minutes, I had to walk around a Hy-Vee, and there was nothing in that area. So that's pretty quick, but it's an extra hour on your trip, where it would only take you maybe 10 minutes to gas up and go on. It's just not worth it to me. The other thing is, to be quite honest with you, as far as room goes, the Tesla isn't really comfortable for 4 people when you've got a car seat and then luggage. I mean, my son's getting taller, my oldest son, so it just wasn't super comfortable for him to ride that far, where I have my seat position, he rode behind me. Anyway, I wasn't super happy with that, and we won't be doing that again, that is for sure. But I thought, well, since we sold the Suburban, we'll just slide to the Trailblazer. We'll just take the Trailblazer when we go places. Well, we went recently about an hour away on a trip, and we drove the Trailblazer, and we had 5 of us. There was me, my wife, my youngest, my oldest, and my oldest had a friend with him. And guys, I'm telling you, it's just not comfortable for 5 people. We had no luggage. It was just, we were going out to eat or something, and it's just not comfortable. And I don't like it I know I'm not gonna like it on a 6-hour trip, a 5-hour trip, something like that. It's just not, it doesn't make sense. So that leads me to, well, I probably should have kept the Suburban, and we're gonna talk about why that red truck's out there and what that's all about. But yes, I think I am going to sell this thing. I literally just got through washing it. You can see the drips on the floor. But now that it's lowered, it is aligned now. The alignment went great. Didn't really have a whole lot to adjust. It was actually very close. Of course, the windows are all tinted now, new lights, and this thing is really, really clean for its mileage. It does have 174,000 miles. I thought I'd list it for like 15 grand. That may be really high, and it probably is, but I don't have to sell it. I think that it makes sense to sell it because it was never going to be one of these cars that I thought I would keep. And as a matter of fact, when you look at these cars in here, that entire back row is pretty much not going to ever sell, with the exception maybe the Corvette. I would sell it probably, but the Trans Am, the 52 and the 55, those are going to be here forever. So if you guys tune into this channel 10 years from now, if this is still a thing and I'm still doing it, those cars will still be in this garage. These in the front, I mean, the right price would buy them. The 54 is probably my favorite in the front here. And then this is a really close second. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I just like the look of it, and I think it's gonna go up in value. So other than that, the green truck, I've had several people offer on it. Same thing with the white truck. But anyway, so a funny story also, while we're on that, we're gonna go back up, we'll talk about the red truck and what it's all about. But while we drove her Tesla to this basketball tournament, obviously you've got to stop and charge. We had to charge once before we got there, and then once when we got there, and then we were ready to come back home. But the problem was, when you're ready to come home, you're ready to come home. You don't want to stop and charge and wait. I sure don't want to walk around a Hy-Vee for 55 minutes. So we went to a town just outside of Kansas City on the way home, and it said that we needed to charge completely there, but then stop again in Kansas City and charge for another 15 minutes. And I decided we're just gonna risk it. We're gonna charge about 40 miles outside of KC, and we're gonna try to make it home. And it said that we would make it home with like 10 miles left. And when we got on the interstate, which is about 30 miles from our house, it said we had 30 miles left. So we had to drive 30 miles, and it said we had 30 miles left until we were completely out of battery. And so it got a little nervy. It tells you to slow down. It told me to drive 60 miles an hour or under. Well, it's in a 70 mile an hour zone, so that kind of makes people mad. I slowed down to 65, and then when we got closer and it was freaking me out a little bit, I slowed down to 60. And we made it into this garage right here with 1 mile left. And I'll show you that picture right here. So exactly 1 mile left until it was completely dead. Now, I didn't know this, but I had heard that people, you can run those things maybe 10 miles below empty and they'll still go. Well, after getting home and reading up on that, so I didn't know this, but a lot of people say that sometimes under the 10-mile range, it'll just completely stop. And so the older ones, I guess, would go past the 0 mark, but the newer ones like hers will not. And so we got lucky that we made it here. It would have been late at night. I don't even know what your option is. I guess you would have had to been towed to a facility or back to my house in order to charge it up. I don't even know, but I do know that when I got home and plugged it in, I didn't move it for at least 10 minutes on the regular charger. And then I moved it down to the garage and charged it up fully. But interesting stuff that we learned with that trip on that Tesla. As far as what we can get away with and what we can't. This was my first experience with the supercharger, which I will tell you guys, on the house charger, I know I've said this before, but it charges 3 miles for every 1 hour it's on like a 110 outlet, just a regular plug-in like in the wall here. When it's in my shop down there on 220, it will charge about 23 miles for every hour that it's on the charger. On a supercharger, it will charge completely, I mean from 0 to complete in 55 minutes. And the first, I thought the thing was gonna blow up when we plugged it in, or you could almost see the electricity going into it, because it will charge up exactly to half in about 15 minutes. And then it kind of steps down for that 55-minute mark. So it was impressive, but it's still not to the point for me that I wanna waste an extra hour every time. If it were like 15 minutes, like a normal rest stop or gas up stop, that would be different. Or maybe if it went further, so like 500 miles of range, but 300 miles of range just isn't enough for me to take that. And like I said, it's not comfortable anyway for all of us. But that brings us to the red truck. So what is going on with the red truck? Well, guys, I did not buy this truck. This deal here was me, and this is the weirdest thing. I'm telling you, this is by far the weirdest experience I've ever had at a dealer. But I went to look at another vehicle to replace the Suburban, and I had talked to these people like 3 or 4 days before I went. Actually, I guess it was 2 days before I went, and told them, hey, I'm gonna come look at it. I'm thinking Friday I'll come look at it, or Saturday, I don't even remember what day it was. So they tell me, okay, that's great. We'll look forward to seeing you. And then I don't know if you guys have dealt with the newer dealerships now. They'll send you a text message and an email, and they're like, what time do you think you're going to be here? Can you confirm? Press yes if you confirm your appointment, and blah, 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 blah. So I did all that, right? I every time they text me the night before, are you still coming? I said, yes. They text me the day of, are you still coming? I said, yes. I show up about 30 minutes early to this dealership to look at what I was looking at. And it literally hasn't even been washed. I noticed in the pictures when I looked at it, it wasn't washed. When the salesman sent me more pictures of it, it still hadn't been washed, which, look, it was rainy and crappy weather, so, but they could have at least hosed it off. It had like mud on the tires and stuff, and I got there and it wasn't clean, which was a little frustrating, but it's like, okay, whatever. Well, then I get in it to go test drive it. And while I'm test driving it, the salesman tells me that, well, you can't actually take it home today because it still hasn't went through service. We have to go through the service on it. That's what we do with all our vehicles. I have never heard anything like that before. They knew I was coming 2 or 3 days before. They didn't wash it. They didn't run it through service. It was the craziest situation I've ever experienced in my life. And I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to say what dealer it was. I can tell you that it was 3 hours away from my house. I drove 3 hours to look at something to buy. And I didn't drive it home that day. Now, I ended up buying it, and I probably shouldn't have because I was so frustrated. So I did buy it, and no, it's not here, obviously. They said that they felt bad, so they'll give me another car to drive home, which it helps them out because when they come to bring it to me, they can exchange out. But no, I did not buy a new Chevy truck. I have looked at these, and I'm just not, they're okay. I'll show you guys in it. It's a 2020, it's 4-wheel drive. It's not the spec that I would pick even if I were buying one. I would, and sorry guys, the wind is crazy out here. I would probably buy an RST with the painted front end. I will tell you that I do like the Silverado in these years a little better. Oh, it's not even unlocked. It's pretty low loaded, nothing real fancy, no leather or anything, but it's just, I don't know. I wanted something that we could all ride in, and the truck didn't really fit that because, well, I would have had to put a cover on it, and there's a possibility of luggage getting wet. And that's not really what I wanted. I wanted something that we could all use and would make sense for the family. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this story. I can't show you. I'm not even going to talk about the new vehicle because I will make another video when I actually get it. But some interesting stuff going on with the Suburban selling. Like I said, I think I'm going to be selling the Trailblazer and replacing it. So you guys will just have to guess or wait until the next video when I reveal what I bought. I'm hoping that it's going to be here this week. They told me that it might be 2 or 3 days. I guess parts are backlogged as well. So if the vehicle that I bought needs anything, it could take a little bit to get it. So I don't even know how long this red truck will be here, but I wanted to explain what was going on. I'm sure that probably most of you thought that I bought it because I have talked about this in the past, but no, I did not buy it. But anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video, this little update or a little talk about just kind of a day in the life of TWA Motorsports, just kind of how we roll. But if you did, please, like always, go down there and smash that thumbs up button, guys. If you are not subscribed, please go down, hit that subscribe button while you're down there. Of course, ring the bell icon. That notifies you every single time we drop a new video. And stay tuned to see what we work on next.